Hey all. I just found my old collection of Game Boy stuff in storage and realized some of it may have been stored with batteries in it, which is a really bad thing to do. So I'm going to start by checking Pokemon Pinball, since the Rumble uses a battery, and the battery's still inside. But luckily it looks like there's no leaking or corrosion, so I'm just going to pull the battery out and move on. Next up is my Game Boy Color, and woof, that's bad. Let's get it cleaned up and hopefully in working order. First thing I want to do is remove the batteries. I'm wearing gloves to stop from getting any of the battery crud onto my skin. Now, I wouldn't recommend prying the batteries up like I'm doing, but they're stuck in there pretty good, which really isn't a good sign for me. As I'm removing them, I can feel them pulling on the battery contacts in the Game Boy, so I'm a little worried how bad the damage is going to be on the main board. Now with the batteries out, I'm going to remove the 6 tri-wing screws from the Game Boy, making sure to remove the game first, and then pop it open. There are 4 obvious screws and 2 hidden in the battery compartment. This is my original Game Boy Color that I used as a kid, and for sentimental reasons, I'm really worried the whole thing is going to be shot. So hopefully it'll still be in good enough shape to repair it once I get it open. Let this serve as a reminder to not leave batteries in stored electronics, but as a kid, I didn't know that. Now that I've got it open, let's take a look at the damage. Sorry for the focus issues, this is my first time using this camera and I'm still working out the kinks, but as we can see, I think I got really lucky. Battery contacts are corroded, but the board itself looks to be in pretty great shape. The battery contacts inside the shell are much worse off, so I might need to replace them. But I don't have parts on hand right now, so I'm going to do my best to clean and restore them and hope it works out. The first thing I'm going to use to clean the contacts is white vinegar. It'll neutralize the alkaline crud from the battery and should make it a lot safer to work with. I like to use some cotton swabs to do the bulk of the work, specifically the ones that are meant for makeup application, because they have one side that's pointy and easy to get into tight spaces. I can tell the vinegar is working because it immediately starts to bubble on contact with the crud. Since the shell is really far gone, I'm actually going to pour some vinegar directly on the contacts and then drain it after a few seconds. It'll make everything a bit easier to deal with. I'll set it aside to dry, and while you can see it's already gotten a lot better, I did end up cleaning it a bit more off camera afterwards. Now I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to clean the mainboard and get the remaining vinegar off the contacts. Again, I'm dipping some cotton swabs into the alcohol, using them to clean it up. While I'm in here, I'm actually going to take a bit of time to clean off any other gunk that built up over the years or was left on the board during manufacturing. Things like oil buildup or leftover flux. Last but not least is cleaning the battery cover, which I did off camera. I followed the same steps: first clean with vinegar, then isopropyl alcohol, and then leave it to dry. Now with everything clean and dry, I'll reassemble and test the system. Reassembly is really easy. Just put the back shell on and screw in the 6 screws. I have to repeat that I got super lucky with this Game Boy. I was expecting the battery leakage to have completely corroded parts of the main board, but I think because it was stored in such a way that the leak went into the back of the shell instead of down onto the board, most of the damage was avoided. With the system reassembled, I'll pop in a couple batteries and my original copy of Pokemon Yellow to test it. The checkerboard pattern you're seeing on the screen is from my camera. In person it looks exactly like it did originally. Starts up great, everything's looking good. Of course my old save file's gone, thanks to the cartridge battery probably being dead. But I can replace that down the road. Now I'll pop out the batteries, so it's ready to go back into storage. And if you're interested in seeing me replace the battery in my copy of Pokemon Yellow, and some other games, let me know in the comments below. A final once over and you can see the gunk is all gone and the system is almost as good as before it went into storage. I should still replace the battery contacts in the shell as there's a tiny bit of corrosion I couldn't get rid of, but overall I'm fine with it as it is right now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.